Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on, well, an incredible journey into one of the most audacious national transformations we've ever really unpacked.
Hmm.
Imagine a country aiming to fundamentally reshape its entire agricultural sector and workforce. We're talking within just 2 decades.
Yeah.
We're talking about India and a truly, truly ambitious plan to go from nearly half its population in farming
Right, nearly half.
to just a tiny fraction, maybe 4 or 5%, all while becoming a global food powerhouse.
It's a staggering proposition,
Yeah,
truly.
it really is.
When we talk about moving, what is it, maybe 200 to 220 million people out of agriculture
That number just blows my mind every time.
and into higher productivity, non-farm work,
Yeah.
while at the same time turning farming itself into this, capital-intensive, tech-driven export engine,
Right.
you're looking at a complete paradigm shift. It's not just about economic growth, you see.
No, it feels much bigger.
It's societal restructuring on a scale we've probably never seen before. Generations of tradition, livelihoods, whole communities
Yeah.
being reshaped.
And that's where my curiosity really sparks. Moving 200 million people. I mean, that's like relocating the entire population of several large countries socially and economically in just 20 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
What's the most surprising implication of a shift this massive, beyond just the job numbers? Like, what cultural or traditional aspects of Indian society might be most profoundly impacted?
That's where the true insight lies, isn't
Yeah.
it? Beyond the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Because for countless generations, farming in India hasn't just been a job.
No, it's identity.
Exactly. It's identity, it's social status, community bonds, cultural practices, festivals. It's all tied up in the land.
Right.
So this plan implicitly asks millions to kind of shed that deeply rooted identity and embrace entirely new urban or industrial lives.
Mm.
And the success of this whole thing, it hinges not just on creating factories or service jobs, but on fostering new social cohesion, new support systems, maybe even new cultural norms in these emerging urban centers.
That's a huge human challenge.
It's a human challenge that, frankly, no country has truly perfected at this scale before. It's a leap of faith, really, for millions of people and for the nation itself.
A profound point. So to guide us through this, well, incredibly intricate roadmap, we have a fascinating source. It lays out not just this grand vision, but also the specific mechanisms, the timeline, the sheer scale of it all.
Yeah, it's quite detailed.
So get ready, everyone. Let's explore how India plans to achieve such a monumental transformation and, what the potential ripple effects could be, not just for its own citizens, but really for the world. Let's begin by understanding the sheer audacity of this plan. What are the ultimate North Star targets for India's agriculture by, say, 2045? What's the vision it's striving for?
Well, the goals are multifaceted and, frankly, breathtaking in their scope. They're designed to make India a world leader in food production and efficiency. And not just in quantity, mind you, but in quality and sustainability, too.
Okay.
The most striking target, as you highlighted, is definitely the employment shift.
That 45% down to 4% number.
Exactly. Right now, agriculture employs about 45% of India's huge workforce. The aim: reduce that down to a mere 4% within 20 years.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
It is.
Huh.
And it's not just a number. It implies creating over 200 million net non-farm jobs.
Wow.
Think about it. Almost half the country's working population fundamentally changing their livelihood, their daily routines, their entire way of life. It's a societal earthquake, if you will.
But an earthquake, they hope, leads to prosperity.
Precisely. One envisioned as a catalyst for prosperity.
So that's the people moving. What about the farms themselves? How productive are they aiming to be?
Right. So for yields and productivity, the ambition is pretty high. They're aiming for OECD top quartile yields for major crops.
Okay, what does that mean in practice? Top 25% of developed nations.
Exactly. Their output per hectare matching the top quarter of developed nations. That's a huge leap from where things are now.
A massive leap.
And for the high-value sectors, think horticulture, dairy, poultry, aquaculture. The goal is even more specific. Be among the top 3 global producers.
Top 3 globally.
So it signifies a strategic push, not just for efficiency, but for kind of dominance in key high-earning agricultural segments.
And what about waste? Post-harvest loss is such a huge, often heartbreaking issue in food systems everywhere, especially in developing nations.
Absolutely. And the plan tackles this head-on. reducing post-harvest loss, which currently sits somewhere between a significant 15% to 30%.
Which means so much food just spoils.
Exactly. Food spoiling before it even reaches a consumer. The target is to drop that below 5%.
Below 5%.
Yeah, which is a massive improvement. It signifies monumental advancements needed in, cold chain infrastructure, efficient storage, smart logistics.
The whole system needs an upgrade.
The whole system. Preventing valuable food from spoiling. It's about preserving every bit of effort made in the field.
And water. That's another critical resource, isn't it? Especially in a country like India facing significant water stress. How does the plan address that?
Very directly. For water efficiency, the plan aims for over 70% of irrigated acreage to be under micro-irrigation or precision techniques.
So drip and sprinkler systems becoming the norm?
Pretty much. It's not just about saving water. It's about making every single drop count, drastically reducing wastage compared to traditional flood irrigation.
Which has huge environmental benefits too, right? Groundwater levels.
Absolutely. Profound positive implications for replenishing groundwater tables and ensuring long-term agricultural sustainability.
Okay, and the farms themselves, the actual structure of farming, because India is known for its small, often fragmented land holdings, that's changing too.
Oh yes, very much so. Farm structure modernization is a really key component here.
Right.
The average operational farm holding is envisioned to be greater than 5 hectares.
Which is a big jump from today's average.
A substantial increase, yeah. And this is planned to be achieved through voluntary pooling or leases. That's an important distinction. It's not forced collectivization.
Voluntary. Okay.
It's about empowering farmers to choose scale.
Yeah.
And critically, over 60% of land is projected to be under professional management.
Like FPOs or co-ops. Or even private firms.
Exactly. Farmer-producer organizations, FPOs, cooperatives, or even private agri-firms. And this is crucial with robust safeguards for farmers.
Safeguards to protect their interests.
Precisely. To protect their interests and ensure fair practices. It's about scale and professionalism, but keeping the farmer's stake and dignity intact.
That's a fascinating balance they're trying to strike. And finally, what's the global aspiration? Where does India see itself in the world food market?
The ultimate aspiration is for India to become an export powerhouse.
Okay.
Agri-food exports are targeted to soar beyond $250 billion.
Wow, $250 billion.
Yeah. But it's not just about earning foreign exchange. It's strategically paired with ensuring staples self-sufficiency for its own massive population first.
Right. Feed India first.
Feed India first.
Yeah.
And perhaps most strategically, the plan aims for India to build a strategic reserve capable of, and this is a quote, feeding India and half the world, if geopolitically necessary.
Feeding India and half the world, that's a statement.
It highlights not just economic ambition, but also a potential geopolitical role as a global food security provider, a true force in the international food market.
So putting this all together, it's not just about farming anymore, is it?
Not at all.
It's a complete reimagining of the economy, society, how people work, how food is produced, processed, distributed. It touches almost every aspect of national life.
A truly grand vision.
Okay, this vision is enormous. So let's unpack the strategic backbone of this plan, the 7 pillars. These sound like the core areas where major interventions are proposed to actually make this transformation happen.
Absolutely. Each pillar addresses a critical component, from creating those opportunities outside agriculture to fundamentally altering how farming itself is done.
And they're all connected, presumably.
Deeply interconnected.
Wow.
It's a holistic strategy where each part supports the others. You can't really do one without the others.
Makes sense.
So the first pillar, and arguably the most foundational given that massive employment shift we talked about.
The 200 million jobs needed.
Exactly. It's the non-farm job explosion. This is the pull factor. Creating the necessary opportunities for people to transition out of agriculture, ensuring they have viable, hopefully better paying alternatives.
That seems absolutely crucial. You can't just push people off the land without somewhere viable for them to go, right? You'd risk massive social dislocation.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Or worse. So where are these millions of new jobs coming from? The plan outlines massive job creation across several key sectors.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, in manufacturing, the target is ambitious. 100 million jobs.
100 million in manufacturing alone.
That's the target. Envisioned in labor-intensive industries like textiles and apparel, electronics assembly, EVs and auto components, solar energy equipment, building materials, and crucially, food processing.
Linking back to agriculture.
Exactly, which directly links back to the agricultural output. The tools for this include incentives like PLI 2.0, that's production-linked incentives.
Right, those government schemes.
Yeah, financial rewards for companies boosting domestic manufacturing. Plus, developing cluster SEZs, special economic zones, strategically located near Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
So leveraging existing urban centers, but also creating new hubs.
Exactly, creating new industrial hubs and employment magnets outside the biggest megacities. Then, beyond manufacturing, construction, and housing are projected to create another 40 million jobs
40 million.
through a 20-year urban mission. This isn't just about building houses. It's mass affordable housing, developing transit systems, modern water and sewer infrastructure.
The whole urban ecosystem.
Yes. And what's notable here is the explicit link to rural resettlement packages.
Meaning support for people moving from farms?
Yes, support for housing and integration into these new urban environments, trying to ease that transition. Then there's green energy and infrastructure, anticipated to generate 20 million jobs.
Okay.
This involved the monumental task of building 1 to 1.5 terawatts of renewable energy capacity.
That's a staggering amount of power.
It is. Plus the grid infrastructure, energy storage, transmission lines, and various climate adaptation works. It's a huge push towards a sustainable energy future that also acts as a major employer.
Right. And the services sector.
The care and services sector is slated to create 50 million jobs.
50 million. Wow. What does that include?
It's broad. Health services, elder care, tourism, logistics, IT-enabled services where India is already strong, and the creative economy. So a diverse range of roles requiring different skill sets.
Offers a wide array of opportunities then.
Hopefully, from high-tech to highly interpersonal roles. And finally, within this first pillar, there's a strong focus on SME finance, small and medium enterprises.
The backbone of many economies.
Indeed. The idea is to strengthen them by developing UPI-like rails for working capital.
Like the digital payment system, UPI. But for business loans.
Exactly. Think of UPI's success in digital payments. Applying that concept means creating a similar, seamless digital infrastructure for small businesses to access loans and working capital quickly, easily.
That could be transformative for small businesses.
The aim is to add 10 million formal SMEs to the economy, making finance more accessible, more digital, and tying vendor development programs to large buyers, creating a more integrated ecosystem.
Okay, that's an incredibly comprehensive approach to job creation. Pillar 1 seems massive, but as you said, none of this transformation in agriculture happens without tackling land. So Pillar 2, land, tenancy, and scale, land ownership in India. Notoriously complex, right? Fragmented holdings, unclear titles. How does this plan tackle that?
You're absolutely right. Land is central, and its complexity is often a major bottleneck. So this pillar is all about modernizing land administration and facilitating consolidation, but crucially, while maintaining farmer safeguards.
Okay.
First, it proposes achieving 100% clean land records, DLR, within 5 years. Complete digitization plus title insurance.
Title insurance, really?
Yeah, this is foundational. To resolve long-standing disputes, provide clear ownership, and unlock land as a productive asset for investment. Imagine the disputes this alone could prevent.
Billions, probably.
Yeah.
And the clarity for banks, huge.
Huge. Second, introducing a model land leasing law to legalize secure multi-year leases, protecting both the landowner and the tenant.
Because informal leasing can be risky for everyone involved.
Exactly. Creates instability, disincentivizes investment by either party, leaves tenants vulnerable. A formal, secure framework provides clarity, stability. Then comes this really innovative concept: voluntary land pooling and land banks.
Voluntary pooling? How does that work?
It encourages smallholders to voluntarily pool their fragmented plots into much larger contiguous blocks, say 5 to 200 hectares.
So patching small fields together into one big one?
Basically, yes. These larger blocks would then be professionally managed by FPOs, co-ops, maybe specialized agri-ops firms.
Okay. But what happens to the original small farmer? Do they lose their land?
No, and this is the key bit. The original landowners receive unitized shares in the pooled entity, plus cash rent.
Unitized shares. So like owning stock in the bigger farm.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
A small farmer contributes their 1 hectare to a larger 50-hectare professionally managed farm. Instead of selling, they get shares in that bigger, more efficient operation.
So they still own a piece of the pie.
They own a piece, get a share of the profits from the bigger farm, potentially fixed rent too, all without having to do the day-to-day farming themselves, unless they want to be employed by the managing entity. It achieves scale without dispossession.
That's clever. achieving economies of scale and professional management without forcing people off their land.
That's the idea. And critically, for those who do choose to fully move out of agriculture, the plan includes provisions for their exit with dignity.
Exit with dignity. What does that entail?
Tax-free proceeds if they sell or permanently pool their land. Plus, priority access to urban housing, reskilling programs for non-farm jobs, and small business loans to help them start new livelihoods.
A whole support package.
A comprehensive support system vital to ensure a just and humane transition, addressing financial needs, social needs, even psychological well-being.
That's remarkably thoughtful. Focusing on voluntary participation and safety nets to make such a drastic change, well, palatable. Okay, moving on to Pillar 3, next-gen farm productivity. So once you have the jobs pool and the consolidated land base, how do they actually transform the farms into these high-yield, capital-intensive powerhouses? This is where the farming practices change, right?
Precisely. This pillar is the technological core, modernizing every aspect of cultivation to boost output and efficiency dramatically.
Starting with?
It begins with seeds and genetics. The plan calls for fast-tracking high-yielding hybrids, gene-edited crops, and even genetically modified GM traits.
Okay, GM is often controversial. What kind of traits are they looking at? Specifically engineered for resilience. Things like drought tolerance, salinity tolerance, pest resistance. Basically, making crops tougher and more productive in challenging conditions.
Right.
This is coupled with establishing elite germplasm banks to preserve and develop superior genetic material, ensuring a pipeline of future-ready crops. Next up is widespread mechanization.
Tractors, harvesters.
And much more. The strategy involves establishing zero-down payment machinery leasing hubs.
Zero down payment to make it accessible.
Exactly. Making advanced equipment accessible even to smaller farmers or the pooled entities who might not afford outright purchase. We're talking drones for precision application, advanced planters, high-efficiency harvesters.
Drones.
And
Wow.
the plan even mentions introducing robotics for tasks like weeding and targeted spraying.
Robotics on the farm.
Yeah, indicating a leap toward automation, reducing manual drudgery, and freeing up human capital for other sectors.
Okay. High-tech seeds, high-tech machines. What else?
Precision agriculture, integrating cutting-edge data and IoT technologies. IoT, Internet of Things, sensors in the field.
Exactly. Using satellite imagery and IoT sensors for detailed soil mapping. This enables variable rate technology, or VRT.
VRT meaning applying inputs precisely when needed.
Precisely. Imagine a smart sprinkler knowing one patch needs more water than another, or a drone targeting only specific weeds, not blanket spraying.
Much more efficient, less waste.
Much less waste.
Huh.
It also includes fertigation, feeding nutrients through drip irrigation and prescription agronomy, tailored advice via open APIs.
Open APIs, so
Yeah.
third parties can develop apps and services.
Exactly. Allowing agri-tech companies to offer data-driven farming solutions directly to farmers, making farming smarter, data-driven. And finally, a strong emphasis on diversification.
Moving away from just rice and wheat.
Yes, shifting 30% to 40% of agricultural area to high-value horticulture, pulses, oilseeds, often better returns, often less water-intensive.
Makes sense.
Simultaneously scaling up dairy, poultry, aquaculture dramatically, and expanding protected cultivation greenhouses, vertical farms, especially near cities.
Vertical farms near cities. Interesting. Catering to urban demand for fresh produce.
Right. Maximizing land use in limited spaces.
That's a truly high-tech, almost futuristic vision for Indian farming. But of course, all that technology relies on fundamental resources. Which brings us to Pillar 4, water, soil, climate resilience. This tackles some of the biggest environmental challenges facing agriculture globally, doesn't it?
Indeed. This pillar is about ensuring sustainable resource management, absolutely critical for long-term viability.
So, starting with water again.
Yes, for water, the goal is that 70% of irrigated acreage under micro-irrigation, supported by compulsory water accounting and energy pricing designed to discourage overpumping groundwater.
Compulsory accounting and price. That could be tough politically.
It could be. But to balance it, the plan includes lifeline tariffs for smallholders, ensuring essential water access remains affordable, balancing efficiency with equity.
Okay. And the soil. How do they plan to improve soil health?
On the soil front, a nationwide soil health program, focusing on replenishing crucial elements like carbon and micronutrients.
Right.
And here's a key policy shift. Moving subsidies from input-based subsidizing fertilizer purchases to outcome-based.
Outcome-based, meaning you get paid for results.
Exactly. Farmers get incentives for achieving specific results. Higher yields, water saved, carbon sequestered in the soil. directly linking financial support to sustainable practices.
That's a huge philosophical shift, linking money to environmental outcomes.
It is a huge practical shift, too.
Yep.
And to build overall climate resilience, the plan promotes widespread adoption of regenerative agricultural practices.
Like what? Conservation tillage?
Yes, conservation tillage, minimizing soil disturbance, planting cover crops to protect and enrich soil during fallow periods,
Yeah.
and agroforestry on field borders.
Trees along the fields.
Yeah, imagine rows of trees, not just windbreaks. They sequester carbon, improve biodiversity, and even provide extra income fruit, timber, turning a field into a mini ecosystem.
Making farms more resilient to climate shocks like drought or floods.
That's the goal, making farming systems more resilient to climate change impacts, like erratic rainfall or extreme temperatures.
That's a really thoughtful integration of environmental goals with farming practices. Okay, so you've grown the food more efficiently, more sustainably. Now you need to get it from the farm to the plate. Pillar 5, markets, logistics, and processing. This is about the supply chain, right?
Exactly. This pillar focuses on creating seamless supply chains and maximizing value addition. It starts with modernizing the APMCs, the traditional agricultural produce market committees,
The Mandies, right. How are they modernizing them?
aiming for APMC 2.0, universal e-trading access through platforms like ENAM, low unified market fees across states, and crucially facilitating free interstate movement of produce.
Breaking down those state barriers so farmers can sell anywhere.
Yes, improving their bargaining power, letting them find the best price. Then, to further de-risk farming, contract farming with safeguards.
Contract farming can be tricky. What safeguards?
Standardized contracts protecting both farmer and buyer. Key elements. Escrow payments so farmers get paid securely. Quick arbitration for disputes. And farmer price floors indexed to market benchmarks.
A safety net price, even within a contract.
Guaranteeing a minimum income if market prices crash. Then, a huge investment in cold chain and storage. The target. Over 200 million tons of cold or cool storage capacity. Plus, refrigerated rail transport.
200 million tons. That's massive. That tackles the spoilage issue again.
Directly. Strategic grain and horticulture reserves, professionally managed, using FIFO, first in, first out for freshness, strict quality assurance, preserving quality, extending shelf life, reducing those huge losses, and finally, a strong push for food processing at source.
Adding value close to the farm.
Exactly. Establishing mega food parks in every district. Hubs for processing produce close to where it's grown, reducing transport costs, increasing value right at the farm gate.
Smart.
Plus, a mandate for procurement preference for value-added exports, actively encouraging transformation of raw produce into higher-value processed goods for international markets, capturing more of the value chain domestically.
So it's not just growing food, but transforming it, preserving it, and getting it to market efficiently. Okay, that leads logically to Pillar 6, finance and risk. Financial stability seems absolutely key for farmers to embrace all these changes, especially the capital-intensive ones.
Indeed. Financial empowerment and de-risking are paramount, particularly for millions of smallholders. This pillar starts with ensuring credit at scale.
Making loans easier and cheaper.
Yes. Aiming for prop and capital expenditure loans at single-digit interest rates. Making borrowing much more affordable for investing in tech, switching crops, expanding.
And warehouse receipts, using stored grain as collateral.
Making warehouse receipt finance ubiquitous, so farmers can use stored produce in certified warehouses as collateral for loans, improving their cash flow, reducing distress sales right after harvest. For insurance, the goal is universal. Parametric weather and crop insurance with instant payouts.
Parametric, meaning automatic payouts based on triggers, like low rainfall.
Exactly. No waiting weeks for an assessor. If rainfall drops below X for Y days, payout is triggered automatically, instantly.
That would provide immediate relief after a disaster.
Dramatically speeds up claims, provides immediate financial relief, and this system is backed by a disaster reinsurance pool for stability. And perhaps most significantly, a shift from traditional income support to transition support.
Transition support, how does that work?
Moving away from just direct income support for farming towards time-bound direct income, maybe even a negative income tax, specifically tied to achieving upskilling and migration milestones.
So financial help that encourages moving to non-farm jobs.
Exactly. Financial assistance that incentivizes and supports the transition rather than just maintaining the status quo in agriculture. This also includes rationalizing the minimum support price, MSP system.
Ah, MSP, always a big topic. How?
Moving towards deficiency payments for strategic crops. Instead of the government buying everything at a fixed price, they only pay the difference if the market price falls below a set floor.
So letting market forces play more, but still providing a safety net.
That seems to be the idea, a smarter, more targeted safety net that encourages progress.
Okay, that leads perfectly into the final pillar, pillar 7, people. Education, upskilling, safe migration. This feels like the most human-centric part, ensuring a just, dignified transition for millions.
It absolutely is. This pillar is about empowering the workforce and facilitating their movement into new sectors, handling the human element with care and foresight.
Wow.
It begins with establishing a rural skills corps, tasked with training an incredible 10 to 12 million people per year.
10 to 12 million a year. In what skills?
Skills needed for those emerging roles we talked about: manufacturing, construction, logistics, care services, tech support, and the training would be tied to job-linked apprenticeships.
So practical experience, direct pathways to jobs, demand-driven skilling.
That's the plan. Then, to support the physical move, migration services are crucial.
Helping people actually relocate.
Yes, envisioning one-stop centers in destination cities, providing comprehensive support, job placement, affordable housing options, daycare for kids, legal aid.
Daycare, that's important for families.
Crucial. And a critical component, ensuring portability of public benefits, PDS food rations, health benefits, pensions, making sure people don't lose access when they move.
So they don't fall through the cracks. Vital for security.
Absolutely. Vital for security and their sense of belonging in a new place. Finally, a strong emphasis on women's economic participation,
How so?
promoting things like creches, childcare facilities, enabling women to work, ensuring safe transport options, linking self-help groups, often women-led microenterprises, directly to SME pipelines to help them grow into formal businesses.
Fostering women's entrepreneurship.
Yes, and explicitly aiming for equal access to land titles and credit for women, addressing historical disparities, empowering them economically, which, has ripple effects on entire families and communities.
It's clear the human capital side, the social safety nets, are as meticulously planned as the farm reforms themselves. This isn't just an economic blueprint, it's aiming for a comprehensive societal transformation, uplifting individuals as much as sectors.
Okay, this whole thing sounds like an enormous undertaking, a truly multi-generational project almost. How is it actually phased over the 2 decades? What are the key milestones at each stage? Because a vision this grand needs a very clear, iterative roadmap, doesn't it?
You're absolutely right. You can't just flip a switch on something this complex. The roadmap breaks down the 20 years into 4 distinct phases, each with specific legal changes, actions, and importantly, measurable key performance indicators, KPIs, to track progress.
KPIs are crucial for accountability.
Exactly. This phased approach allows for adaptability, course correction if needed, and ensures foundational steps are done and validated before scaling up.
Okay, so what's phase 1, the first few years?
The first phase is phase I, covering years 0-3, legal plus quick wins. The immediate focus here is on foundational legal reforms and rapid impact initiatives. Get some momentum going. Laying the groundwork.
Precisely. This includes passing those crucial model leasing and pooling laws in all states essential for land consolidation, completing the land record digitization, the DLR, in the top 12 states, providing that clear, secure base for land management.
What about the people side?
Launching the Rural Skills Corps. With that ambitious target, train 15 million, place 8 million in jobs within 3 years.
Wow, hitting the ground running.
And on the agri front, fast-tracking seed and biotech approvals, setting up 200 machinery leasing hubs per district to boost mechanization quickly, kicking off cold chain development and mega food parks, opening up E&M APIs for market access. The KPIs for phase I reflect these immediate goals. Agricultural employment targeted to drop to around 38–40%.
A noticeable dip early on.
Yes. Microirrigation adding 10 million hectares. Post-harvest loss reducing by 3 percentage points. Immediate measurable signs of initial progress.
So it's about establishing the legal frameworks, getting tangible momentum going quickly. What happens next? Phase 2. Once those foundations are in place.
Moving into phase 2, years 3–7. Scale jobs plus farm consolidation. The emphasis shifts here to significantly scaling up, both job creation and accelerating farm consolidation.
Scaling up based on the phase 1 groundwork.
Exactly. The plan aims for over 100 manufacturing clusters to become fully operational, leading to 20 million additional factory jobs, building on Pillar 1's momentum.
20 million more jobs.
In agriculture, a remarkable 50% of districts are expected to have functioning land pools, with the average block size exceeding 20 hectares, showing substantial land aggregation is happening.
So the pooling concept starts to become widespread.
That's the goal. Micro-irrigation coverage projected to cross 40% acreage, Precision advisory services reaching 50 million hectares. Expanding modern farming techniques. Cold chain capacity planned to reach 100 million tons. And the share of processed output in agriculture to increase by 10 percentage points. Shifting up the value chain, the KPIs for Phase 2 reflect this acceleration. Agricultural employment targeted to settle around 28–30%.
Another big drop.
A significant continued decline. Cereal yields projected to increase by 25%. Horticulture output up by 40%, demonstrating tangible gains in productivity and diversification.
Okay, that's where you start seeing the real fruits of the earlier changes blooming. What about the core of the plan, Phase 3? You called it the productivity flywheel. That sounds critical.
That's Phase 3, year 7–12.
Hmm.
Productivity flywheel. This is where the transformation is meant to gain self-sustaining momentum. Things really start clicking.
How so?
During this period, over 40% of land is expected to be consolidated and professionally managed. Average operational holding size exceeding 3 hectares, showing widespread adoption of the new farm structure.
Professional management becoming common.
Yes. Adoption of advanced seeds and biotech targeted for 60% of cropped area, meaning higher yields, resilience becoming the norm. Drone services projected to become mainstream for spraying, monitoring, high-tech farming takes hold.
And economically, exports?
Agri-food exports, targeted to exceed $120 billion, signifying India's growing global presence. And crucially, post-harvest loss aimed to drop below 8%, a remarkable improvement in efficiency. The KPIs for Phase 3 show deep structural changes and direct benefits. Agricultural employment further decreasing to around 18–20%.
Below 20%. Wow.
Continued workforce transition, water use per ton of produce expected to reduce by 30% through efficiency.
Highlighting sustainability.
And a key social outcome, farmer median income targeted to double from baseline.
Double farmer income. That's huge, especially with fewer farmers. It shows those remaining and those transitioning are better off.
Demonstrating direct, tangible benefits. That's the hope.
So by the final phase, Phase 4, what does this fully transformed agricultural sector look like? What's the end game?
The final phase is Phase 4, years 12–20, mature capital-intensive agriculture. This is the culmination, the full vision realized. By this point, over 60% of land under professional management, average holdings over 5 hectares, a fully modernized, scaled-up farm structure, micro-irrigation coverage exceeding 70%, post-harvest loss less than 5%. Near optimal efficiency across the board.
Amazing efficiency gains.
Full traceability and quality grading systems implemented for products, enhancing marketability, safety, domestically and internationally. Agri-food exports set to reach over $250 billion, supported by resilient strategic reserves, and farmers expected to enjoy stable, significantly increased real farm incomes. The KPIs for Phase 3 represent achieving those North Star targets. Agricultural employment reaching its final goal of around 4–6%.
The original audacious goal.
A truly dramatic shift completed. Yield entering the top global quartile for major crops, establishing India as a world leader in productivity. And CO2 equivalent emissions per ton reducing by 40%, demonstrating environmental sustainability alongside productivity.
A complete overhaul. India as a leading, sustainable agricultural power.
That's the picture painted by the final phase.
It's an incredibly detailed progression, each phase building logically on the last, specific, measurable targets. It paints a very clear picture of how they plan to get there, almost like a carefully choreographed dance across 2 decades. But this level of transformation, spanning 2 decades, impacting hundreds of millions, it clearly requires incredibly robust oversight and, well, truly significant investment. How is it all going to be managed? How funded? And what about the roadblocks? What are the potential risks they've identified and plan to mitigate?
These are absolutely critical questions, underpinning the whole roadmap, ensuring its feasibility and resilience over such a long haul. For governance and the data stack, the plan proposes a high-level PMO-led mission.
Prime Minister's office involvement, high-level coordination.
Yes, with strong state compacts, ensuring top-down coordination and commitment from both central and state governments. An annual Green Book will meticulously track targets by district.
District by district, granular accountability.
Exactly. Not just a national plan, a district-level roadmap. And a truly visionary component here is the Open Ag platform.
Open Ag platform. What's that?
Envisioned to provide interoperable digital IDs for land parcels, water sources, individual farmers, FPOs.
Digital IDs for everything.
Pretty much. This core data integrated with real-time satellite data, detailed soil water maps, dynamic market prices.
Oh, what's the goal of that?
To foster third-party service innovation, allowing tech companies, agro-startups to build apps and services on top of this rich data. providing tailored solutions directly to farmers.
So a farmer gets real-time advice on their phone based on their specific field and market conditions.
That's the kind of possibility it unlocks. And crucially, central funds will flow based on outcome-based transfers.
Funding performance, not just projects. We touched on that.
Right, a significant shift. Funding tied to verified KPIs. Actual employment shift. Verified yield increases. Demonstrated water savings. Measurable loss reductions. Linking investment directly to impact. Ensures money is spent effectively.
That makes a lot of sense for accountability. But speaking of money, what's the total price tag here? This must be astronomical for a 20-year plan of this scale.
It is indeed immense. These are rough orders of magnitude, of course, but they outline truly significant commitments. For urban and infrastructure build-out, essential for absorbing the transitioning workforce, supporting new industries.
Housing, transport, amenities.
Exactly. The estimate is a staggering $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion over 20 years.
$1 to $1.5 trillion. Wow.
Then the agricultural transformation itself, water, seeds, machinery, cold chain, R&D, requires an additional $300 billion to $400 billion.
Okay.
And finally, human capital development, skills training, migration support, safety nets needs another $100 billion to $150 billion.
So we're talking potentially close to $2 trillion overall investment over 20 years.
In that ballpark, yes. It's nation-building scale investment.
How do they plan to fund that? Government budgets alone can't cover it.
No. The funding strategies involve a smart reallocation, shifting current input subsidies, often inefficient towards capital expenditure and those outcome-based incentives.
Using existing money more effectively.
Right. Plus a strong emphasis on crowding in private capital and foreign direct investment, FDI. Recognizing government funds alone won't suffice.
Attracting private investment is key.
Absolutely. And leveraging multilateral climate and sustainable development goal, SDG, financing. Aligning India's transformation with global goals to attract international support.
It's fascinating how they've considered the practical challenges, the immense financial commitments. But no plan this big is without risks. What are the major potential roadblocks identified, and how do they plan to mitigate them?
Identifying and planning for risks is crucial, yes. One major risk is simply urban stress. Millions moving to cities relatively quickly.
Overburdening infrastructure, creating slums.
That's the danger. It's mitigated by front-loading housing and transit development in early phases, trying to build infrastructure ahead of the curve, and ensuring those public benefits, PDS, health, pensions, are portable across states, reducing the burden on new arrivals.
Okay. What else? Water.
Water depletion is another significant risk, especially with the push for higher output. Addressed directly through compulsory water metering and pricing to incentivize efficiency, widespread micro-irrigation adoption, and encouraging crop mix shifts, moving away from thirsty crops in dry areas, aligning farming with water reality. Then there's farmer resistance, a critical social and political risk. Change like this is disruptive, emotionally charged.
Understandably. How do they mitigate that?
By emphasizing land pooling is strictly voluntary, incentive-led, not compulsory, giving farmers agency, including guaranteed price floors for certain crops and robust grievance redress mechanisms to address concerns fairly quickly, building trust.
Trying to make it a partnership, not just top-down imposition.
That seems to be the intent.
Okay.
Finally, market shocks, global price volatility, climate-induced yield fluctuation.
Things outside their direct control.
Exactly. Mitigation strategies include a diversified export basket, don't put all eggs in one commodity basket, holding strategic food reserves to stabilize domestic prices, and using that parametric insurance for instant payouts, providing immediate financial relief after weather events, building resilience into the system.
It's clear they've thought through many major obstacles, tried to bake solutions into the plan itself. The integration of governance, funding, risk management, it really gives weight to the blueprint, makes it feel remarkably comprehensive. Now, here's where, for me, it gets really interesting. This isn't just a blanket national plan. It acknowledges India's incredible diversity by proposing state-specific strategies, grouping states by unique agro-climatic zones and their specific challenges.
Yes.
Recognizing that what works in the irrigated plains of Punjab won't work in the arid deserts of Rajasthan or the hills of the Northeast. That bespoke approach seems absolutely critical for a country of India's scale and variety.
This regional tailoring is absolutely crucial. A one-size-fits-all approach would almost certainly fail in India. The plan wisely identifies 7 distinct agro-climatic zones, each with its own set of existing issues, targeted actions, specific KPIs, even broad budget allocations. It shows a deep understanding of local realities.
7 zones. Let's maybe dive into a few examples to see how different the strategies are.
Definitely. Let's start with, say, Zone 1, Punjab, Haryana, and Western Uttar Pradesh, the traditional granary, designated as the Water Reset and Crop Diversification Zone.
Water reset. That sounds serious. What are the issues there?
Severe issues. Rampant groundwater over-extraction, especially Punjab. Haryana, among the most water-stressed regions globally now. A pervasive paddy wheat monoculture leading to soil degradation, high methane emissions. High mechanization, yes, but low crop diversification. Makes farmers vulnerable.
So, despite being productive, it's environmentally unsustainable.
Largely, yes. The action plan. A 5-year water reset program. Compulsory microirrigation. Laser leveling for fields, real-time groundwater metering, and a huge shift, aiming to move 40–50% of paddy area to pulses, maize, high-value horticulture.
50% less rice.
In Punjab. That's revolutionary, almost unthinkable culturally and economically.
It's a massive target. The KPI reflects it. 50% reduction in paddy area by year 10. Halting water table decline by year 8. Also introducing contract farming for high-value crops, promoting agro-solar farms, solar panels, plus crops for extra income. Okay. A radical shift needed there. What about the East? Eastern India often presents a very different picture, right? Lower productivity historically.
Very different. Zone 2 is Eastern India, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Eastern UP, Odisha. Branded the irrigation plus pulse soil seeds boost zone.
So the focus is different. What are the issues there?
Pervasive rain-fed dependence despite rich alluvial soils. So low erratic yields, low mechanization, small fragmented holdings, high poverty, and a very large agricultural workforce, 55–65% still in farming.
Huge potential, but underdeveloped infrastructure.
Exactly. The action plan focuses on accelerating canal rehabilitation, micro-irrigation, soil pumps, drip sprinkler, bringing water security, launching a pulse and oilseed revolution, high-yield varieties, price floors, procurement guarantees, boosting incomes, nutrition, promoting rural food processing hubs, large-scale FPOs to connect small farmers to markets, and crucial skills training, move 20–25 million workers to non-farm sectors by year 15.
Directly tackling that large farm workforce. A key KPI must be irrigation then.
Yes. Irrigated area increasing from about 40% to 80% by year 12. Fundamentally transformed the landscape. Pulse soil seeds yield tripling. Agri-workforce share dropping to 20% by year 12.
Bringing basic infrastructure and market access to unlock potential. Okay, let's jump to another contrast. What about, say, the Northeast? Geographically challenging, culturally distinct?
Right. Zone 5 is Northeast India, Assam, Arunachal, all the Seven Sisters plus Sikkim. The organic and high-value niche crop zone.
Organic and niche, leveraging their unique environment.
Precisely. Issues are difficult terrain, poor connectivity, but immense untapped organic potential. Low farm mechanization. The action plan. Large-scale organic certification with premium branding for their unique air. Produce aromatic rice, special ginger, king chili.
Things you only find there.
Exactly. GI tagging for regional tea, spices, fruits to build market identity, command premium prices. Investing in agro-tourism, ecotourism around farming, linking agriculture to high-value tourism. And significant investment in mountain cold chains, better road connectivity to get perishables to market.
Tackling the logistics challenge.
Head on. A key KPI. Organic certified farmland increasing 5 times by year 8, truly leaning into their natural advantage. Tea spice exports tripling by year 10. Agri-workforce share dropping from 60% to 25% by year 15.
A completely different focus again. Specialty crops, tourism, organic branding. It really highlights the tailored approach. Maybe one more. What about the very dry areas like Rajasthan? How do you make agriculture thrive in a near desert?
Zone 6, Rajasthan, Gujarat interior. The desert and arid zone productivity zone.
Productivity in the desert. Seems ambitious.
Issues are severe water scarcity, risk of desertification. But there's potential for high-value arid crops that naturally thrive there. The action plan focuses on expanding production of things like date palm, pomegranate, gargum, naturally resilient crops, implementing solar-powered desalination and drip irrigation in select clusters, promoting agrivoltaics, solar power plus crops, expanding dairy co-ops, building on existing strengths in animal husbandry.
Making the most of harsh conditions.
Using technology and adapted crops. A challenging KPI here. Water productivity tripling by year 12. A radical increase in efficiency. Export of arid crops quadrupling. per hectare income increasing 2.5 times.
It's fascinating how distinct each zonal plan is, targeting specific local issues and opportunities.
It really is. And what's also fascinating is that the total budget for these 7 zonal plans, somewhere between 7.9 to 9.8 lakh crore, roughly 1 to 1.2 trillion, is complemented by a significant cross-cutting allocation. Another 3.5 to 4.0 lakh crore, maybe zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.5 trillion dollars, specifically for that national urban infrastructure build-out and the national skill shift programs.
Ah, so the big national programs support all the regional efforts.
Exactly. It demonstrates a truly holistic approach. Recognizing agricultural transformation can't happen in isolation from urban development and human capital investment. It's an entire ecosystem approach to national development. Hashtag tag out.
Wow, what a deep dive that was. This roadmap for India's agricultural sector, it's clearly not just a set of economic targets, is it?
Not all.
It's a profound vision for a complete societal shift, impacting hundreds of millions of lives, from land reform and, incredible technological leaps to massive job creation and these really nuanced social safety nets. Every piece seems designed to work in concert, creating this truly interconnected ecosystem of change. It feels like a nation-building project of immense proportions.
It truly is an integrated approach, addressing productivity, sustainability, human development, all simultaneously. The sheer scale, yes, but also the detailed, phased, and region-specific nature of this plan. It offers a remarkable case study in national development strategy.
It really does.
It's not just about improving farming, it's about a nation evolving its core economic and social fabric, demonstrating a really bold long-term commitment to its future.
Absolutely. And that raises, I think, an important question for you, our listener, to consider. What broader lessons can other developing nations, or maybe even developed economies facing their own agricultural and workforce challenges, take from such a comprehensive, phased, and region-specific approach to transformation?
Good question.
What stands out to you as the most critical element for success in a plan of this magnitude? Is it the technology push, the focus on human capital and skills, the governance structure, the sheer political will required? Or maybe something else entirely?
Lots to think about there.
We've certainly unpacked a lot today. We hope this deep dive into India's ambitious agricultural future has given you plenty to think about.
Hopefully some food for thought.
Indeed. Until next time, keep digging deeper.